8:15. William Wright's going to be along shortly. He's in for Melvin Pryor with the morning show this week, and he'll share with us what he would like to talk about in his programme today. First of all, I'll warn you now, this next interview will invoke a sudden rhythmic tapping of your feet. Two men have written and produced a rather catchy song in support of dairy farmers in Lincolnshire. It's all about the farmers' campaign to receive a fair price for milk. Graham Breeze and Toby Wilson, who are jointly known as Breeze and Wilson, are the two men behind the song. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Hey, whoa, you're getting into the chorus already.
Well, we're ready to go. We've been rehearsing this for minutes.
Tell us about the song before we hear it.
Okay, well, the song is a song that I wrote to support the UK dairy farmers. I had a phone call from my brother who works with dairy farmers one evening last month. He was actually supporting one of the protests, and he knew that I'd sort of written lots of music in the past and had done one or two radio jingles as well, so he knew that I could kind of come up with something reasonably quickly. So he rang me up and challenged me that night, and I'd had a couple of beers, and so I did it as a favour for my brother, really, and then it kind of took off from there.
Okay, you've got to come up with a song then,
Yeah.
and then you've got to come up with the lyrics.
Yeah.
Who did that?
Well, I did the lyrics, as I say. I think I was fairly typical of a member of the general public in so much as I didn't really know a huge amount about the protests and what they were all about. And as I say, I had a 10-minute conversation with my brother who gave me some of the basic details, and I just sort of flowed from there, really. It's no great lyrical masterpiece, but I think it gets the main points across.
Okay, so you guys are regular performers then?
We do, yeah.
Okay, so you're familiar names in your locale.
We are.
And you're going to make it big. Do you think that you're going to, what we're going to see on, well, you're already a massive star on YouTube, looking at the number of hits you've had.
Do you know, I mean, that would be great, would it? I mean, it'd be quite ironic after 15 years of penning serious songs, you know. Well, listen, it's strange because, you know, since I've been following the tweets and, you know, and sort of supporting and going on radio and stuff, I've just been absolutely overwhelmed by the passion that's been shown and the enthusiasm, and I think the dairy farmers are really, you know, playing out a really good campaign, and I'm pleased to help.
Listen, Bob Dylan made a career out of protest songs, you know. How's it gone down with the farming industry generally? What sort of feedback have you had?
Oh, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And you know, the people who are following the tweets on Twitter and Facebook and everything else, and Farmers for Action and various other groups that have got involved, have been brilliant. You know, they've shared it on their websites, they've put out news releases and all sorts of things. So it really is running away. And as I say, we put it on iTunes to raise money for a farming charity as well, because, you know, we have no idea if it's going to make 50p or, you know, £1,000. But the first £500, if it makes that much, is going to this charity anyway. So it's there on iTunes.
Brilliant. Okay. Well, listen, you've got I heard the guitar strumming away there earlier. It'd be a shame not to actually use that. So you're going to give us a couple of bars of this then?
Well, yeah. I mean, you tell us to stop.
We'll see how you go.
Okay.
It'll be like those old-fashioned talent shows, you know. You keep going as long as we like it.
Have you got a gong?
I'll soon invent one. Don't worry.
You'll miss your yogurt and your custard too when you realise what the farmers do. You'll miss the cows in the field that moo. SOS dairy. You'll miss the fields and the hedgerows too when you realise what the farmers do. You'll miss the cows in the field that moo. SOS dairy. There's fair trade bananas, fair trade rice, fair trade gold and fair trade spice. There's fair trade cotton and fair trade silk. Is it too much to ask for fair trade for milk? You'll miss your yogurt and your custard too when you realise what the farmers do. You miss the cows in the field that moo. SOS dairy. You'll miss the fields and the hedgerows too when you realise what the farmers do. You miss the cows in the field that moo. SOS dairy. Supermarket milk is cheap as muck. The dairies and processors don't give a monkeys. Selling at a price too good to be true, and Farmers for Action nation need help from you. You'll miss your yogurt and your custard too when you realise what the farmers do. You'll miss the cows in the field that moo, SOS Dairy. You'll miss the fields and the hedgerows too when you realise what the farmers do. You miss the cows in the fields that moo, SOS Dairy.
We've cut it short there for you, Rod. We were going to go on, but we've cut it short.
Well, no, that was fine. That was fine. There were no gongs there.
Oh, fabulous!
That was terrific. My heart did skip a beat at one point there, but very, very good. Okay, well, listen, guys, thanks very much indeed for coming into the studio. Just to remind people, if they're all tapping along their feet there and would like to know where they can find that song.
Well, the best way is to just go onto iTunes and search for the SOS Dairy song, or it's there on Amazon and all the other places as well.
Okay.
The version on iTunes is actually the dance version, or the Bullocks mix. And there's also a ringtone available on SoundCloud. But actually, our website is breezeandwilson.com, and there's all sorts of links. Sorry for the blatant plug there, but there's all sorts of links to our stuff.
Okay, then. Well done, guys, and thanks for coming, and great to hear from you this morning. Right. Cheered us all up.
Thank you.
Breeze and Wilson, Graham Breeze, Toby Wilson, with the song. Let's get some reaction to that now. Simon Fisher is from the National Farmers Union. Morning, Simon. Were you tapping your feet there?
I was indeed, Rod. Very good. It's a very good song, and we are really grateful to Graham and Toby for what they've done there.
There is, of course, a serious side to this, and we have seen some movement by the wholesalers in recent days to sort of hold prices up, and they're not, perhaps most of them anyway, are not going to go ahead with this planned reduction. So is that it, all out of the mire now?
No, unfortunately not. Really, the what we call the cancellation of the 1st of August price cut, which was, as you say, going to be brought in but been largely rescinded now, that, if you like, was round one of our campaign. The Dairy Coalition, which is the organisations and groups like NFU and FFA who've come together to coordinate this campaign, still have a large list of activities and campaign issues to go through. In fact, a new 10-point plan was issued last week.
So, what are your thoughts at this stage? Do you think that this huge well of public support, which appears to be coming in now, do you think that that's going to win the day, or is there still a long way to go?
I think songs like SOS Dairy actually seize the public's imagination, and we've seen huge public support. And in fact, looking at some paperwork yesterday, it shows that Waitrose believe that their 8% milk sales increase is down to the dairy campaign and the issue that's been highlighted by British dairy farmers. We've got a long way to go. We've got to get some fair and sustainable prices in place, which basically cover the costs of a dairy farmer's production so that he can actually make a living out of it and also reinvest in his business. We've got to get contracts which are fair, a milk price which is transparent, and actually the campaign as we go forward is going to start exposing what we call bad practice. In other words, the reasons why the supply chain in milk, which is a fairly simple commodity and is a one that you have to supply fresh into a supermarket or a shop, is so dysfunctional that those at the very bottom who are responsible for producing it just can't get a fair price for their milk. What the song actually sums up, really, all we want is fair trade.
Simon Fisher, thanks very much indeed. Simon Fisher from the National Farmers Union takes us to 8:27. Keely Donovan is looking at the weather charts for us this morning.